Hi everybody. I just want to thank you all for giving me this award. I was very surprised to receive it and I feel really honored, and I feel like I should accept it on behalf of all the BC classroom teachers who have been involved in all the projects and all the work that we've done with the International Solidarity Program at the BCTF. Thanks, it's a real honor. I was thinking about how international solidarity work is like teaching. You know, you start with a little project, you're reaching a few people, you have an idea that you're working on with some people, you go to a place, you work on the project, and you can think, oh, we're just a few people, just a little drop in the ocean of all the different things that need to be changed and fixed. But it's like teaching. You meet your new class, you start to show your caring towards them, you start with giving them a few assignments, and before you know it, you have a good relationship with them, and it starts to be a learning community where you're all equals and you're learning together and you have a lot of bonding together with your relationships. It's like that for me. After a while, you realize the bigger picture is being worked on with all the small things that you're doing. Now, the Canadian teachers who get to go on projects or who do international work usually always come back with a changed perspective on what is important in education and with an understanding of what neoliberal attacks on education really are, on public education. We see in Latin America massive privatization of schooling and the public education system being further and further degraded. And that could happen here. It's really clear that if the funding cuts and the rapid privatization that's going on here continue, we're not going to have a public education system that's to the level that we want and that we understand is important for society. So it's really good for us to have these links and understandings with people who are struggling in the same struggle we are in a different place. I was thinking of a couple of examples of things that have happened to me recently that made me know that our work is important. Last summer, I was in Peru and I went to a meeting of all the local presidents from all over the country. And they said, oh, here's the Canadian, she's going to give a speech about our project. And I got up and I said, actually, I don't want to give much of a speech. I want you to ask me questions. Now, I'm a classroom teacher, and we're on strike back in Canada. We had a strike in June. It's going on into September. We don't know what's happening. And you can ask me anything about that. I'm not the president. I'm not the union leader. But I do have a perspective on what's going on in our strike as a classroom teacher. And so they asked me a whole bunch of questions about strategy, about what processes we've had, how the teachers feel. And later, when I was talking to one of our colleagues in Peru about it, he said, that was a very transformational thing that happened at that meeting, where they got to hear the international perspective on their struggles that are so similar. So it was a good opportunity, and I thought really interesting. Another thing that happened that made me feel really happy was I was in Iquitos, which is in the Amazon region of northern Peru. And it's a remote place. There's no road to it. We were giving our workshops to the Peruvian teachers. And there was a Cuban teacher there. She came to one of our events. And turns out she knew the people that I knew back in Cuba when we did our projects there. So it was very cool to see that after all these years, there's a lot of connections being made. So thanks again. I really appreciate this award. It's great to see that the International Solidarity Project is supported by the BC teachers, and I hope our work continues far into the future. Thank you.